You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Yo, I'm your host, dini-mussolini. What is up, everybody? Well, if you were here for the last go-round with the Raven, let me just tell you that that was a gift to you, because that is probably an interview that will never be heard. But then again, I don't know that for sure, because that's something that him and I have been talking about over the past few weeks. Whether this interview or that interview will come to light, who knows? But for the bunch of you who heard the interview, that was a special treat for you, I guess. So you took what you wanted from it, and it is what it is, right? So he's here with us again tonight to set the record straight, right? So it'll be a pleasure, definitely be a pleasure. I hope you guys enjoyed the holidays. Man, mine was crazy. Being a vegan amongst the carnivores is, it's quite a treat, I tell you. But we won't get into all of that. And I don't call it Thanksgiving, I call it giving thanks, right? And I'm not going to go into that story about, the massacre, but nevertheless, I mean, you take from the holidays what you take from it, and, people have their own style of way of sharing those special moments with their family and loved ones, if they are around, if they have them. If you don't, man, I pray that one day you do find some people or someone to share a special moment with, not just for one day, but year round. Well, anyway, there are 11,000 of you guys tuning in with us tonight. Appreciate you guys for coming. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to, well, actually, you could be anywhere in the world. This is the internet. You could be anywhere and still tune in. That is so wonderful, right? Technology, I tell you. But for right now, I have a track for you by the Raven. It's called Onomatopoeia. And we'll be right back.
Hard of an artist to keep my guard up regardless. I don't give a gypsy dick, cause rappers are hardest. I'm spelling fumes of despair, you're being modest. I walk in Rolling Stone through the sky like a wallow. And it's no rock and roll dad with a mandolin fathering. I got my own jam with no band or a following. I hollowed out husk of a laugh from your mockery. Shell shock from the trauma onomatopoeia can bring. Melancholy, licking fingers and folly. All these nuggets, little baby chickens dumped in blenders probably. Light and dark in contrast, a couple hits of Molly and a cracked gemstone. My sincerest apologies to your daughters that wanted me, cause I never grew up properly. Labbers lazily escaped the mirror and a prophecy, but so addicted to the rhythm when it bothers me. Clutching Gekka-Econ when the darkness tries to swallow me. I'm alone in my zone when I'm roaming. The heart's cold, but not broken. I feel the heat from the street, it's a bullpen. Left behind in time, I kept moving. I'm alone in my zone when I'm roaming. The heart's cold, but not broken. I feel the heat from the street, it's a bullpen. Left behind in time, I kept moving. Find a beat right, pick up a mic, drop fire like a Vietnamese strike, napalm, ski fire. write every verse I rehearse, then complete my hypnotic tease. War and Peace, right? I'm just a poet with them jackass skills. Analyze these other Padawans, grip my teeth. I sift through the memories and pick, grip, kill like I was wind in Soul Calibur's windmill. Do I really gotta go beast mode to make a C4 hold to the ego? Then appear on your Doritos with these ghetto blues. You clown around and choose recipe of your lifespan. It ain't right, man. Thank the people out here beeping how we echo what we see. It's out of love and fear, a query ear. Looking up your derriere for a lump in your throat cause you can't speak. Too weak from the CS gas. I'll wait.
I'm alone in my zone when I'm roaming. The heart's cold but not broken. I feel the heat from the street. It's a bullpen. Left behind in time and kept moving. I'm alone in my zone when I'm roaming. The heart's cold but not broken. I feel the heat from the street. It's a bullpen. Left behind in time and kept moving. Can we superseding what you do for free? And Huey, Dewey, Louie in the tailspin. Big motherfucking kick club. Kick a metaphor for the win. And I kick bricks for the sound. Never in the sins. And it's big dick Nicholas now, nigga. I'm a Big Bang Theory reference. And the crowd's pretty about the full time. Separate when you see it with your mind. Who's a motherfucking chicken that you hunting out? Dig it! I'm a big bad cyclone ruining your mansion. Cause I three little big schemes stiffing up our asses. Coddling you spazzes. Get on life, bitch! You know I'm big chiz when the Fago came flinging like a bankrupt city, bitch! Not a word from us. We don't got no motherfucking answers, bitch! So fuck off! It's what they yelling to the masses. I'm alone in my zone when I'm roaming. The heart's cold but not broken. I feel the heat from the street. It's a bullpen. Left behind in time and kept moving. I'm alone in my zone when I'm roaming. The heart's cold but not broken. I feel the heat from the street. It's a bullpen. Left behind in time and kept moving.
All right, and we are back. That was The Raven Onomatopoeia. So I like the song, right? Especially the vibe of it. But the third verse, wow. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Wow. All right. So I want to ask you guys: are you providing value to others? What is work? For some people, work is hitting a golf ball. For others, that is considered play. For some people, work is flying an airplane. For others, flying is play. For some people, work is writing. For others, writing is considered a hobby. The difference between work and recreation is not in the activity itself. The difference is in who benefits from the activity. When you are working, the assumption is that you're being compensated in some fashion for your activity. And that compensation comes from the value that you create for other people. Work is wealth creation, and it can take many forms. We used to think of work as pure physical toil. That is an outdated perception. In fact, as machines take over much of the routine, repetitive work, the work of humans must become more creative in nature. It used to be that the majority of society or enterprise would toil at physical tasks, and only an elite few would be free to think, create, and innovate. Now, however, it is incumbent upon just about everyone to be creative and innovative in their work. This is the concept of empowerment. It is being used in the most successful of organizations. When people are empowered with more responsibility, they produce more value. This work on any level, the formula is simple. If you want to create wealth, you must find a way to provide value to others. There are no limitations on what this can be. The more value you provide, the more people you provide it to. And the best thing about it, the more wealth that you will create. Now, I know I just made it sound like super easy peasy lemon squeezy, but it takes a little work ethic behind that. Not just a little, it takes a lot of work. But once you find that niche, it's going to be there every time. and your product will begin to speak for itself. All right? And that's what you want. Take it from me, Dini-Mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
And it feels so good to be back with you guys after eating so many strawberries and blackberries and blueberries and mango. That was my Giving Thanks Day. I don't know how your Giving Thanks Day was, but that is how mine went. Of course, with all of my family around to talk about me, but that is okay, right? So one time for my people who are indigos, starseeds, shadow children, crystalline. Make sure you find out which one you are. And 2 times for my people who are vegans or vegetarians. If you're like myself, we're averaging over 34,000 plus live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you guys, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors, and vampires. Yeah, let's say vampires. I had some on the show before. Or people think they're vampires. It doesn't matter, though, who you are or where you come from. Come on my show and talk to me. So check it out to book an interview or just to share a real cool story. You can email me at theradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. Now, I may sound a little coughy tonight. I may cough a little bit tonight because a little bit under the weather from standing outside when I shouldn't have been standing outside. But we're going to power through this, right? Because we have a full week of interviews, and that's going into next week. So we have to do what we must, right? So I will power through it. If I have to cough, please excuse me. I will try not to do it in a microphone, right? All right, and with that, hello out there, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Vigilantes Radio. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in and being a part of our audience family. You know the number to dial, that's 701-801-9813. And if your buddy doesn't know the number, text him right now and give him that number to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Scroll over to the Vigilantes Radio tab and slap that go live button, and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here. We also have a plug-in with Google Hangout where you can shoot us questions from there as well. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab them from either Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, which is my favorite. I don't just promote that one. There's others on those Play stores that you can just listen to this podcast at, or over at our website, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. Well, like I said, I don't want to keep 11,000 of you guys waiting any longer. So let's go ahead and dive deep into this interview, shall we? Oh, yeah. We are the people who have dedicated their weekdays and nights to music, books, movies, sometimes news topics, but not so much, business ventures, conspiracies, and just talking every aspect. From our incredible promotion on our new Facebook page, by the way, make sure to like us there. help us, right? Or to our interviews, or the new series that I'm introducing tomorrow. It's called Inside the Music series, on Vigilantes Radio, or our show called Skeptics, where we talk money, music business, relationships, and spirituality. We have one of those next week, talking about the law of attraction. No. That's the week after next. No, that is next week. Yeah, that's next week. Week after next, we have Skeptics, where I'll be interviewing or talking with a indigo child, right? Who's also a successful business woman. Oh yeah. And she's very pretty, by the way. So we spend each and every day giving our maximum effort to create a vibrant, exciting, indie, and professional community for all creative minds that coexist in this beautiful artistic world. Our special guest tonight is the Raven, if you didn't guess it already. So let's go ahead. Hey, my brother, you're now live in the mix with all of us. How's it going, and how are you feeling?
Oh, man, I missed you. What's
up, man?
Been gone for so long, man.
I know.
Gone for so long. Right? Why? What's going on? That Vici Flame interview, or however you say his name, man, that was exciting.
Yeah.
That was exciting. I like that guy.
Vici was very exciting.
Yeah. I want to hear him do like bloopers from the Discovery Channel or something, you know?
Yeah, he
put that guy like
back on.
Did he?
Yeah, for a Skeptics episode. So yeah, we'll get him on. We'll talk to him again.
Nice. For everyone that's listening, I just want to apologize if you heard the last time I was on here. I listened to it back. I listened back to it, and I was so drunk. Never do anything important drunk, unless it's some kind of competition for drinking, you know? Or you're trying to prove that you can do something drunk. I was so messed up. I trailed off. I forgot what I was saying. I think I yelled at you a bunch of times. Man, that was an eye-opener. That was a definite eye-opener. A reflection that needed to occur. But
hey,
I apologize.
Raven,
I apologize.
I have a question for you from Ryan. He's on Twitter. He said, "Drunk man tell no lies. So are you really sorry, or are you sorry not sorry?"
I'm sorry because when I listened to it, like, I wanted to turn it off. I was mad at whoever I was, you know? What was this guy even talking about? You know, 5 hours of what? What the hell is your point? You know? So, like, I listened to it as a viewer, you know? And I was like, fuck this guy, you know? But I had to listen to the whole thing to say, like, oh, man, maybe we could edit it. And there was no way I could consider saving it. And I didn't want to give an inauthentic, I'd say put it out, but, man, some stuff I said that could possibly get me killed, man. They're killing all these people that are talking about autism cures and stuff like that. And I said some stuff about some high-level people, you know?
Yeah.
I went too open, I guess, you know? Too open and then forgetful was one of the more annoying aspects of it. So, while I was drunk, I thought I knew what I was talking about, but listening to it sober, yeah, I'm sorry that anyone took the time and heard my words.
Awesome. All right, man, I have Ryan, I have another question from Maggie from Google Hangouts. She said she listened to the show, and there are some points in your discussion that were valid. I don't think you should scrap everything, but stand by your words.
It still would. If I took out all the more, what I really hate about it is that you asked me very plain, simple questions, and then I gave like a weird metaphoric response, and then it took me 30 minutes to even understand what I was talking about. And I just kept going. Like, I kept saying Tupac was in foster homes, you know? And I was thinking back to an interview I saw from him. I said it like 80 times. Tupac, foster homes, all this crap. But I looked back and I found the interview, and it was he went to some kind of a theater school, and he had he called it his adoptive mother, it wasn't like official, you know. So it was just a lot of nonsense. I don't know. I felt like shit.
All right, and there you
It's
have
like
it,
if you get caught naked, and it's extremely cold out and your penis is like way too small, but that's how everyone saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you have it, Maggie. I mean, you were there for the interview, so you heard it firsthand. And you're still here tonight, so I guess you weren't offended in any kind of way. So, bravo. All right, the Raven, man. What's going on your side of town tonight?
Man, first of all, you got me tripped up with that Devil's Night, Angel Night day, right? You heard that story where I was explaining the whole, I got my name the Raven from, that's the other thing too, I messed that whole, my life story up about how I got the name the Raven. From watching The Crow, in which he dies on Devil's Night and then comes back the next year, right? You probably didn't know that or care to put that, like that's why you scheduled me for that day. Is there a specific reason why you scheduled me for this day?
No, man, it's just a numbers game.
Oh, happy 77th birthday to Bruce Lee.
Yeah, things happen like that, bro.
Yeah, with me all the time. But, yeah, I was surprised to know that, to hear that today. Would have been 77.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, all these sevens.
Yeah.
77, today's the 27th of the year 2017. Must be something.
So what's going on my end? I'm trying to do a documentary on placement in foster homes. I'm gonna try to go back through. My whole thing has been trying to show people like the statistics of suicide, like what makes you at risk, you know. And when I was doing my research, there's a few things that kept popping back up: illiteracy, jail, homelessness, drugs, early pregnancy, you know, or children of single mothers. Then I did a little bit more research and I found out that the exact same statistics that put you at risk for suicide, they're pretty much all across the board the same for foster kids and kids that are locked up when they're younger, which I was taking that foster care when I was 10, and then I went to my first placement when I was 13, right after that whole You're the Raven story. And so back in and out of Detroit, I spent a lot of time homeless and all that stuff. So I'm trying to do a documentary. I'm going to go back. I found a few of the staff that worked at one of the placements that I lived in. I found a couple people from placement on Facebook. I want to basically go back to Detroit and, like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, because the statistics are crazy. 24% of Americans will actually go in and get their bachelor's degree. 2% of anybody that's been in the foster care system will actually go and get their bachelor's degree. Up to 85% of people in foster care and in placement are illiterate. These are the same exact statistics that fill jails. You know, it's 66% of men, 33% of women that come from juvenile detention centers will end up in jail at least once, and most of the time numerously. So, like, I'm kind of stumbling upon this weird, I mean, because even when I was there, they didn't really teach me anything, you know? Like,
yeah.
I didn't learn how to cook. I didn't learn how to do taxes. Like, I didn't learn any hobbies, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people, they're making, in New York, it's $200,000 per kid. California, it's like $150,000 per kid. I mean, like, if you just paid the parents, you know what I'm saying, or, like, sent you off to, like, what kind of private school even costs that much? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, from the lowest part of the system, you know, it's extremely high rates of food stamps. They're talking about cutting food stamps and welfare and all this shit. But it's like they're kind of causing these statistics to exist by not just, like, training you to be, you know, like, yeah, your mom was on crack, or you were in a gang, or you choked somebody. You know, one of my best friends, like, stabbed somebody in the mall. Is why he ended up in placement. So it's like, yeah, you got some issues, but, like, look at where it starts. You know what I'm saying? We're going to separate you from your family still, But you can't just seclude kids and lock them all up, because I started smoking weed and drinking and smoking cigarettes and doing more shit from being in placement than anywhere else in my life. You know what I'm saying? You end up with, like, more bad habits for the people that you hang around with. You know what I'm saying? So if you're, like, put into there's people that just going off, we'd leave placement, they're supposed to go to school, and he's like, yo, want to go joyriding? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he just, like, jumped in the car, like, 3 streets away from the placement, and just starts driving around. And I'm like, dude, we're already fucking locked up. Lucky we're in low security. Like, it's the stupidest shit ever. What are you going to do? What are you even going to do? I'm going to go pull some bitches. You're going to go pull some bitches in a stolen car. That's great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're right.
So the point is that there's no actual guidance. There's no leadership. These people, I knew so many that were illiterate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting there in the basement class, you know what I'm saying? And the teacher's like, oh, you're smarter than, like, all these kids. You need to be careful. Don't let them suck you into shit. You know? I'm like, okay. But, like, I'm sitting there listening to them try to read, and it's like from Billy Madison, like, today, Junior, you know what I'm saying? But the point is that they're still pushing these kids through to the next grade, you know? And I don't know, there's so much shit that can be done. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on going and actually doing and setting up, like, I want to have a documentary. I found out that it's not all that hard to get shit put on Netflix, you know? There's all kinds of film festivals and all that shit. But I figured one of the easier ways to start my nonprofit organization would be to document and just show people the exact causes and the effects of what happened, and then flip it and say, here's my solutions. You know what I'm saying? Here's my solution. And then I found out another way to get a nonprofit organization fairly easily is if I become a para-minister, like a para-church minister. Like, I'm in conjunction with a church, but I have to be ordained, so I think that's a little, like, I don't know if that's disrespectful to God. I'm sitting here swearing and shit, you know, like, I want to be ordained, be a minister just to get the nonprofit status. Like, it seems kind of fucked up, but I'm looking at it, considering it, pondering it. Let's see what else. I just got accepted for, I guess, some big music competition. It's all around the world. There's only, like, I think I'll be the 10th entry. But, like, they do stuff for, it's like people, Aborigines and shit in, like, Australia and Brazil. Like, they're presenting music. So I basically made a music video about placement and foster homes and all that stuff, and then sent it in. That's the song, the other song that I sent you, that's the actual song that I used. My contest entry. Yeah, just looking for cash, man. Any way possible. Just looking for cash to start this shit. Because unless I'm drunk, I feel fairly competent. You know? Fairly competent. But I think the point is people don't see, like, you're looking at a system that's been created that no one's really allowed to look at the long-term effects. You know, that's why you keep seeing all these, you turn on the TV on any given day, and you're looking at, oh, did your kidney fall out? Did your, you know what I'm saying, did your butthole, like, turn orange and start smoking? Like, did you die? You can now sue these companies. And, like, you don't even make that much money, you know what I'm saying? The lawyer is what makes most of the money from these lawsuits, but they don't study the long-term effects of even drugs or hip replacement, the vaginal mesh. I had, when I was in the military, I was doing this exercise where you cross your legs and then you turn your spine and look completely behind you, you know, and I popped my testicle back up inside myself and, like, herniated it, so they had to, like, cut into me and put in one of those mesh things. I tried to, like, hey, where's my records, you know, so I could tell if this is that thing, you know, this is the inguinal hernia or something like that. This is that same mesh, but I need to know what brand it is, you know? And they're like, well, we don't have those records. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, doesn't it come with, like, serial numbers? Like, what are you talking about? But, I don't know. There's a lot of things that's just, I think that's why secret societies exist, because they're keeping the long count, you know? And then you get people that, the more families they break up, slavery, taking people into jails and prisons, the more that the family structure is disrupted, the less people know and the less wisdom is being passed down. You know You know, like everyone's great-great-grandmother used to know like 1,000 home remedies for all kinds of shit, you know, like how to get rid of colds and ear infections and, you know what I'm saying, like all kinds of, my friend, the same one that stabbed that kid and went to placement and got locked up with me, he's had hemorrhoids, like really bad. He's been talking about his asshole bleeding for years. He's like, oh, I went back to Vietnam. He's Vietnamese. I went back to Vietnam, and they're looking at doing surgery, but the way that they're too big or something like that. And I came back to America, and they wanted to rubber band it, but they can't. And then there's this laser process, but you got to do it like 10 times or something like that. He's like, I found this all-natural remedy where you stick a little piece of garlic up your ass, like you shave it, you take the skin off, so like a little clove, you know, the little teardrop clove or whatever, shove that up your ass, and then just let it come out when you poop, you know? And, like, seriously, a decade of this guy talking about his asshole bleeding, it's shrunk, like, amazingly. In, like, 2 weeks, it's almost gone, you know? So, like, people used to know that kind of stuff. But the more you take experience out of the equation in your home and your community and shit like that, you know, then you're creating people that become reliant upon a system, you know, like, oh, we have the answers and you know, you can buy it, you know, but none of this natural shit works, you know, it's all alternative medicine in quotation. You know, technically that's medicine, and what you're doing is alternative because it's not even like normal, you know?
Right. Okay.
But yeah, same concept. It's like everywhere. So I was shocked to find out these statistics were pretty much all across, you know. And again, one of the things I remember screaming a lot, 900,000 African children.
Yeah. That was the highlight of the night.
There was a lot of fun in it, but man, I don't know. I just didn't want you to have to edit the crap. I'm making you do more work, you know. I want to push my burden of stupidity onto you, and I couldn't. After the third hour, I'm like, I don't even know what to do with this, you know. I don't know what to do. I was gonna try to edit it myself, you know, so send it back in, like, hey, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so it's the same concept though. Again, it's mostly African Americans that this is happening to. You know, I just watched a documentary, trying to look at like other documentaries and see how people are formatting their stuff. And they basically, one of the more interesting ones that I found was explaining how when slavery was abolished, they put it in the Constitution. What's it called, like the 13th Amendment or something like that? I think the documentary is called 13 or 13th or something like that. 13th Amendment, so I guess it says that you're not allowed to force labor upon anyone unless they're in jail. Mm-hmm. So that became the new slavery legally, and that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, how do you even begin to fix a family? You know what I'm saying? How many people I know that I'm in jail, I'm out of jail, I'm in jail, I'm out of jail. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you either need to fucking stop or do something and just stay, you know? Like, what's this back and forth shit? But how do you reach them in a way that's like, I think the main problem I'm going to have here is that people have such a deep mistrust of the system that if I came as a part of the system, it would never work. I wouldn't be able to get much done, and people would never trust me. You know what I'm saying? But if I came as a nonprofit organization individual where the aim is to prevent suicide, the whole spectrum of all this other shit is involved in that. It's like a large chunk. So I guess I'm kind of conspiring, I guess. I guess I'm kind of like conspiring on how to do what I want to do and provide education. You know, again, like, what is it? Fucking hooked on phonics. You know, I remember having that shit in kindergarten, following along with the headphones on and all that shit. That's an aspect of kinesthetic learners. Like, if you're good at sports, you know what I'm saying? You're good with your hands, you're good with dancing and martial arts or running, football, that naturally, that depicts that you're a kinesthetic, hands-on learner more than audio-visual, which is the entire education system is pretty much set up on audio-visual. You listen to the words being read from a book, or you read the book and you look at diagrams. Kinesthetic learners need more hands-on. So implementing these concepts, I'm going to have fucking like hundreds of millions of dollars in order to do this. So it's a pipe dream and a half. But with the nonprofit organization, I can wiggle my way into a bunch of shit. Like coming on your show twice because I fucked up. Yeah.
Well, it's all good, man.
So hopefully a lot is, I guess, the answer.
Yeah. So, what city are you in? Because I have you listed again as Michigan, or what? Let me ask you this: what state are you in?
I'm in Michigan.
You're still in Michigan. All right.
Yeah, I'm still in Michigan. Detroit. Not in Detroit. No, I was in Detroit. I think 18 years or whatever. In and around the whole metropolitan area. I think I was only spent like 3, maybe 4 in Detroit total. But I'm on 8 Mile, all that other stuff, all around it, metropolitan Detroit. And then I ended up joining the military and moving California, Arizona, you know what I'm saying, way up north, Michigan. And I need the land, you know what I'm saying? I need to not have neighbors, like I'm shell-shocked, traumatized, you know? Fucks with my schizophrenia, being able to hear people out my windows and shit. So I just bought a house not that long ago. The VA finally gave me my VA home loan for fucking 12 years. It was supposedly nice. 100% guarantee all disabled veterans get your shit. I said, no, it's still based on credit, you lying motherfuckers. But, so yeah, I'm near, let's see, where am I at? Mount Pleasant, Cadillac, Big Rapids. I'm not going to be fucking retarded and make a music video with my address again. Stupid shit I'm saying all the time. But, yeah. Interestingly enough, I'll tell you a clue, alright? I'll tell you a clue. I didn't know this when I got the house. But the city I live in has something to do with the Raven. The actual name. And I was like, whoa, holy shit. If you turn that's backwards. And that's my only clue. It spells it backwards and shit. Like, what the fuck? I saw it I was driving down the street. I saw it on a one of those water, they locked us in the tower whenever we get caught. And the water tower, yeah. I was driving at the water tower, like, holy shit. Is that where I moved? You serious? One of those, like, Matrix moments where you're like, huh, that was not even intentional. Like Bruce Lee's birthday, apparently.
Yep. So, all right, man, let's go ahead and kick off the interview, man. First of all, thank you for being here with us tonight again, as well as, congratulate you on your fantastic work for your cause, the-crazed-haven, and thinking of so many wonderful ideas that you're doing on your end. So, I don't know if you want to talk music, do you?
Not really. Again, it was a thing to where it helped, it helped with depression. It helped me figure out, like, that you can change how you feel about stuff just by changing the inflection. I was, like, catatonic schizophrenic for a while, which means you basically can't talk, like, you're so petrified, like, you're terrified to think. Like, I was hearing people's thoughts for real. Like, some of them confirmed, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is not, like, an illness. Like, this is some kind of, like, psychic shit, and I don't have any training, So it's like, it's just kind of fucking me up. So I use music as, like, organize my thoughts, feel like I accomplished something, but then nobody was liking the music. Nobody was, there was no chance for me to start, like, maybe I should sell the music, start marketing and pushing it. So it's an avenue that I can now, it's a tool I can use for other shit, but yeah, that's about it.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're out now, campaigning, pitching ideas for the-crazed-haven. How did that concept come about?
The Crazed-Haven itself, I think I said this last time, is I was listening. I was in was it AIT, where you learn your job and stuff in the military. Snuck off base, went and saw The Matrix 3 in theater, you know. It was fucking amazing. Or when I was watching that last fight, I was like, man, when they finally do a Dragon Ball movie, a Dragon Ball Z movie, like if this is what we can look forward to in a flying fight between Neo and, I forget the guy's name, the computer virus guy, you know, that flying fight where that's going through the raindrops, pop, 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 poof, flying through the air. So, man, it's going to be crazy. And then I was going through, I went to I think it was like a Best Buy or something, and I was like, oh shit, Tech Nine, the people I heard from, you know, the guy I heard from that Twisted CD. And then I listened to it, and it was like, Misery-Faced Raven for the Crazed-Haven. And I was like, I had to listen to it like 100 times because I was already starting to experience schizophrenia. It basically means like you're hearing shit that other people don't hear, and it affects you on a deeper level. And it can fuck with your head, you know, this Bruce Lee shit, you know, that whole, it's stuff like that, but if you're not used to it, you're like, what is real, you know? But that hit me, and it was like, this is something you're going to do one day, the Crazed-Haven. And I was in the military. By the time I finally saw a demon outside my body, you know, and it was talking to me and shit, when I was in my actual base, I went to the chaplain, and I told the guy, and he's like, oh, yeah, I can help you, mental health. Like, whoa, I saw a demon. Like, help me spiritually, motherfucker. And they sent me to the psych ward, and then I came back, and my best friend, the guy that I met, like, in the intake, the first day I got there, I've been hanging out with him ever since, the whole time on my actual base. They told me that he got discharged for drunk driving, and he hung himself, you know. And then later when I started doing music, the Raven logo was from Northern Primate Records on Montana. They were supposed to like put my music out. I was still trying to test the waters and see if it was any good or whatever, but this guy, Brian Schneider, he was doing all their graphics and stuff, and I sent him in like some scribbly designs, and he came back with the Raven logo. And I started talking to him. He was supposed to help me design T-shirts for the Crazed-Haven, for suicide prevention, you know, for this whole concept. And then fucking died. He killed himself, you know? Killed himself. I was like, what the fuck? Like, of all the people that could have ever done my logo, the fuck? And then it just started like... Then suicide started hitting me deeper, you know? Like, anyone in the news and the media, you know what I'm saying? The Stone Temple Pilots guy, which I loved when I was younger, you know, and then Linkin Park. I feel stupid right now because I'm not really got this stuff written down, but these other people were killing themselves, and then I started seeing like how many like awesome celebrities killed themselves. I was like, what the fuck, you know? And then statistics. I never thought to look into that, and then it became like its own new obsession, you know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, it's not really uncovering a conspiracy, but like uncovering more data than I ever thought existed, you know? And it kind of paints this very clear picture. Something is inherently wrong in our system, and education is at the very heart of it, you know what I'm saying? Education is the very heart of it. And I start hearing stories about, just the ways people are killing themselves, and some of the weird-ass reasons why, you know? Like, I look back at all the shit that I've been through, and then it's like, oh, this kid was bullying me, and it's like, man, I remember bringing weapons to school and shit. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do, you know? Like, right. I never really had, like, a gang with me, you know what I'm saying? I never lived anywhere long enough to have, like, a shitload of friends, you know? I bounced around from school to school, like, at least once a year, for the most part. Longest time I was ever in school, one single school, was in my second foster home, 3 years. Everywhere else, man, bouncing around 3 months, 5 months, a year. A lot of it was a year, but sometimes less, you know? And so bullying, like, I started realizing that, like, oh, the way I'm looking at it is wrong because no one knew my whole story. You know what I'm saying? So, like, people that are getting bullied, they could be bringing up shit from back when, like, 2 years ago. Like, oh, remember that time? You know what I'm saying? that, like, you kissed that girl or whatever, and then she fucking slapped you, you know, and it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, remember that time you told that one story and you shouldn't have, and it spread to everywhere, you know, like you spent the night over your friend's house and pissed the bed or whatever the hell, and the whole school knows, you know, so, like, I didn't really comprehend, like, there's a level of permanency, I guess, with growing up in the same environment, same school, same friends, same neighborhood, that I guess there's like a depth to where I don't understand what that is, you know? I don't understand what that is. So it made me start looking at a lot of stuff differently, you know? Things that I was like, oh, that's fucking stupid. But then it's like, oh shit, well, look at the depth of it, you know? It's seriously, like my wife, you know? She was, her dad artificially inseminated like a woman, and there was lawyers involved and paid this chick, you know what I'm saying, and to have her. And I guess because the news got a hold of it, it was in the Detroit News like a shitload, like 8 times, you know. There was like interviews with the mother, and oh, when she turns 18 I'd love to talk to her, and you know what I'm saying, like all kinds of stuff that we just kind of found. When I was looking up information about my dad getting murdered, I was like, oh, I'll check and see if her stuff's here too, you know, in the archives. And all these people in her school, and all the neighbors, and all the people that knew her, everyone in her family and all of her friends knew that this had happened, and she didn't. And she found out when she was 15 years old by, like, digging through their shit in the basement and found, like, the articles. You know, like how fucked up psychologically that is, you know, kind of, again, that's one of those at-risk moments. You know, that's suicide risk, right? That's homicide and suicide risk right there. You know what I'm saying? You find out that your parents have been lying to you, and that everyone knows, your best friends, you know what I'm saying, don't even tell you, like, the fuck, you know? So, right. There's deeper levels, I guess, to, like, shame and, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So, but my solutions still stand true. You know what I'm saying? Martial arts, you know, talk therapy, there's spoken word therapy, there's hip-hop therapy, there's improv therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can learn to come back faster, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at most of the little kids that were dicks, you know, it's because they got picked on a lot, and they had to come back stronger and stronger and stronger, you know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, maybe they're off being like rap battlers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get that edge from experience, you know what I'm saying? Get that edge from experience. So it's like, there's all kinds of ways to not only teach that shit, but to put it into a therapeutic format, you know what I'm saying? So it's like so much shit, you know? All little girls love horses and shit, but how many girls in the ghetto ever get to fucking see one, let alone ride one or train one or groom one, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, have that responsibility of, like, I'm taking care of another living thing. It's not like an underage pregnancy and shit like that. You start to, like, I don't know, like, if you can get out of these more fucked up situations, and I think it's a lot of things is people don't really understand that they're not trapped, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's idea of how the world works is inherently flawed, you know, because your personal experience is limited, extremely limited, you know? Take that from a parent who's schizophrenic. You don't know what the fuck is real sometimes, you know? So it's like you kind of have to indulge and have that comfort, like, yes, it can get better, you know what I'm saying? With actual daily proof from child abuse and molestation and rape and all that shit. Coming home and your mom's fucking on the floor having a seizure because she did too much cocaine or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many concepts. It's basically what I was provided with, placement and foster care, is like a hint at a solution, but something like camp, you know, with counselors, free therapy, you know what I'm saying? I've known a lot of people that have gotten kicked out of psych wards because the insurance didn't cover it. You know, you can only be here for 7 days or 14 days or whatever, you know? And it's like, well, then the whole thing was stupid, and you never gave a shit in the first place, you know? So there's all kinds of shit, and there's all kinds of people that have these jobs and shit. It just takes a person that somehow has enough ideas, I hope, to bring in revenue. You know what I'm saying? And I've got quite a few dozens of them. It's just getting that nonprofit status started and actually opening enough people's eyes to say, like, okay, yes, he's crazy, but he can do this. You know what I'm saying? He can do this. And that's all it takes. And I just take the information, the data, the statistics, what I know to be true, prove it, and then bring it to people. You know what I'm saying? Again, I was trying to explain this the last interview. I fucked it all up. But for $500,000, you can fill a large sports arena with people, artists, vendors, security, everything. You know what I'm saying? And fit up to like 94,000 people that are paying 35, maybe 50, maybe you get to do like a meet and greet, something like that would be nuts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Pay that extra $100 to go meet the artist. They're doing that shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Their prices aren't that extreme. Last I looked, Madonna was at like $1 million. But like, if that brings in the people and higher ticket prices, then fucking why not? You know what I'm saying? Then why not? So it just takes, I guess, becoming an established or at least somehow respected name. But the only way that it fucking sucks, because the only way that I feel like that's really possible is to look at all these other organizations and basically like look them in their face or tell everyone, hey, they don't really know what they're doing, and the evidence is in the statistics and the approach, you know? And it's like, so what are you saying? These people don't know what they're doing? Yes, those people don't know what they're doing, and the owner's making $800,000 a year from having the name. If he cared that much, he wouldn't give himself that much. He's not doing that much work, you know? Yeah. Oh, I'm only every dollar that I give to anything is only putting 12 cents into the actual cause, and then they're all sucking each other off, paying each other, you know? It's like, and then again, ALS challenge. Where'd that money go? Where's the fucking cure? You know? It was interesting to watch the social experiment, but if you realize what happened, no one gave a shit until there was big celebrities that put their name in, that actually did it, you know? And so that means that someone organized that shit. Someone took some of these celebrities to the side, paid them to like start the snowball, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then everyone did that shit, you know? I didn't do it because I was like, I looked into the actual company, you know, and I was like, you fucker people. But they proved that it can be done, you know. They proved that social shit like that, the concept can go viral, you know. So it had its perks, I guess, like me. It has its perks, but there's some fucked up shit about it, you know.
Mm-hmm. True.
I don't have to make this like very long. I can try to make my answers shorter and shit. I felt bad too. The whole time I was listening back, I was like, man, he sat there that whole time. Fuck, you know. I felt like I molested you, you know.
No, man, it was all about you, man. It was all about you. All right. I do want to bring up something that we did talk about last time, which was the election. And I know there's some new listeners here, and they probably want to hear your take on it. First of all, did you exercise your right to vote?
I have never exercised my right to vote. The only person I actually considered ever voting for was Obama, and if Bernie Sanders would have made it, I would have voted for him. You know,
why
I've never done it. I thought people were going to rally behind him and start doing stuff, you know? But sadly, what I pretty much witnessed was everyone rallied behind him as they patted him on the back and said, go do it, you know? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, this should have been something way more impressive, you know? And sitting there like watching, because every president, they've got their angle, someone's got their hand up their ass, you know what I'm saying? Someone's doing something, but what is it and how much does it affect me? You know what I'm saying? Or how much does it affect life? Or peace on the planet, you know? So it's like a lot of the wars that he started, you know, were done quietly. People don't know about that, you know? A lot of the bombs that were dropped. It was something like 4,000 bombs a day or something like that by the time all the information came out, you know? And it was like, what? We bombed who? What the fuck's in the Congo? You know? Like, but I thought the fact that he was black basically was this big, like, kick in the door, like, all right, here's our fucking voice, you know what I'm saying? And now it's time to exercise it, you know? And then I watched Detroit go bankrupt. I watched, you know what I'm saying, like, Flint. I watched all kinds of shit. And it was like, I think as Americans, it's like, oh, that's his job, you know? And it's like, well, if you think about it, he was a community organizer, you know? Which basically means that, yeah, while he was organizing shit, technically the job was on other people's shoulders, you know? And I don't think enough people realize that to have given it the impact that it should have. You know, I might be on a terrorist list because it was either the day of his inauguration at his address or something. He said something like, I'm going to have an open-door policy for the White House. If you have any ideas on how to fix the economy or anything, like, I want to hear them. You know, so, like, me, 10 pages long, you know what I'm saying? 10 pages long on, like, how to seriously bring in, like, $1 trillion and shit and create way more jobs, you know? So I guess in a weird way, the Crazed-Haven concept was from him not listening and me kind of feeling like, okay, well, maybe I could take some of these and make it to a smaller scale, you know? But, I mean, I was putting in shit like any state, you know, because, again, a lot of the states, they were losing money. They're close to bankruptcy, in debt, you know? Like, who the fuck are states in debt to, you know? But, like, all these states losing their money, all this stuff, I was like, man, in Michigan itself, if you got the Spartans college football and the Wolverines college football, and basically had some kind of tryout and got the best of the best, you know, or maybe the whole team, I don't know, and put them up against the Lions on a pay-per-view, you know what I'm saying? Do, like, all-stars, you know what I'm saying? All-stars from Michigan college. People that like football, you know, the professional team's gonna win, but is it necessarily true? A, would you pay to see it, you know? B, and then, like, how much pride is that if the money's going back to your own state? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
right.
There's so many ideas like that I have, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't know what to do with the shit, you know? Like, my brain's like in one of those old school, like, typewriters, or what are those messageograph thing, telegraphs, where it's just constantly spooling out shit, you know? And I'm like, what do I even do with that, you know? And I just put it to the side, and then I get more and more and more, you know? And so it's like, I kind of have to be careful what kind of tangent I allow myself to be put into. But that's where music helped me start focusing. Okay, like, I can do one project, you know, plan the whole thing, whatever. But I ended up flying out to the Philippines with my friend that stabbed that guy, and I started realizing that, like, I'm getting, in quotations, air quotes, randomly checked every single flight. You know, there was like 3 flights just to get out to Seattle, and then when I made it to Seattle and flew off I went to Korea first, and then the Philippines, so the crossover was in. Those countries didn't give a shit about patting me down and, you know, looking in my pockets and taking my shoes off and all that shit. And I was out there for a while, and I came back, and it was the same shit. I'm like, I'm on some kind of list. This is not paranoia. This is not a coincidence. I'm on a list. So it's either happened from sending that letter into Obama, basically saying, hey, look, there's cures to the economy unless you want us, like, unless it's planned to fail, and, like, that's the scheme. Like, some of this shit was valid, you know what I'm saying? But, so I don't know. That's one possibility. The other one is because I threatened to blow up a well-known bank over the phone because they overcharged my account, like $500, you know what because they took the most expensive thing out, not the chronological item, and then charge for all the small shit. I was making sure to go in chronological order, which is common sense, but no, they take the big thing out first, so while it looked like I still had money, no, I'm now getting overdrafted with extra charge, overdraft, extra charge, overdraft. $35 for a 99-cent pop, soda, whatever you call it, I'm like, what the fuck? There's 10 charges. I should have had one overdraft charge. I was like, where are you? I will blow you up. Right. And those two events happened around the same time, so it could be the threatening the bank thing. But if that's the case, then, I just sent a letter to the president. If that's the case, why didn't they come to my house? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not allowed to threaten to blow people up, in case you don't know that. I didn't know that. I was just mad, especially on the phone while being recorded for your security and customer assistance.
Wow.
So, yeah. So a lot of weird stuff through the Obama administration, but, still free, I guess. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot more. And then Bernie Sanders, because that was just common sense. I follow the guy on Facebook, and it's like, there's a brain there. There's a brain and a heart. And a lot of people, it's like, oh, well, I promised to do things. Well, what are those things? We'll figure it out. Don't you worry. Bullshit. I like to hear people actually have a plan, Mm-hmm. So, yeah. The problem is that there's the possibility that they keep doing this to fuck us over, so we get so mad that by the time we have someone that actually starts doing shit, like, they're the worst, Like, destroy the whole world or whatever, Oh, but they fixed this, and they fixed that, and that's the concept of the Antichrist. Everyone loves them, Until, like, all the murders, genocide and shit. Overtly, not hidden. Like, what? Like, what are all these bombs? Where? Like, no, it's like, oh, shit, You're not allowed to wear pink today,
Yeah, right.
I mean, the concept of Ferguson and watching those tanks roll through the street, like, that shit's just nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to tell sometimes if they're planning shit, they're putting pieces on the board, or if there's just so many greedy people that, like, well, we got all this shit, it's just sitting here. Who the fuck can we sell it to?
Right.
Well, sell it to the cops, Why not? But, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I go, man. So you're kind of like me. I've never participated in any kind of political voting thing. And I don't know. It's not about me, but
no, tell your story. Why?
Well,
again, if you remember last time, I liked hearing you talk. I don't like feeling like I'm just talking to myself and shit.
Yeah. Well, they also say that not voting is also voting. So, given that is a factor, I just don't feel like my little tiny vote would ever make a difference. And I said, if you don't vote, then you don't have an opinion. You shouldn't have an opinion about who's in the office. And that's correct. I don't have an opinion. Well, actually, I do. I have an overall opinion about the entire thing. And it's that they put whoever they want in office, and they push their own policies and hidden agendas. So whether we vote or not, it really doesn't matter. I think it's just to find out what side of the fence you're on when it comes to
yeah, that is one of my why I've got a lot of weird paranoid shit like that too, where it's like, I don't want to sign, they put out, oh, sign this piece of paper to, to save this person or to stop this. And I'm like, yeah, but as soon as I do that, then you know how I feel. And when the murders start, you know what I'm saying, when the culling begins, I'm going to be on that list for that thing. But I did make a video one time where I kind of criticized Russell Brand, because he was saying the same concept. You know who Russell Brand is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're younger than 50, so... he was telling people basically not to vote, you know, and not to get into anything. And then I came across Oregon. The state of Oregon was having a vote on whether or not to have mandatory GMO labeling on all products, you know? And it's like something like that, if they don't know the opinion of the public, you know, like the person's not corrupt, doesn't really have a stance, and it's like, well, should we do this? I don't know. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean you're making genetically modified fish? What do you mean you're splicing together humans and pigs? What do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're having sheep that are cloned and like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what they're doing with that stuff. And if the person who's in charge of the whole shit, hey, we're having a democratic process here, we're not corrupt, just let us know what you think, you know, it could have been the norm, you know, if enough states were to step in and actually no to genetically altered salmon, no to genetically altered wheat. 90% of corn in America is genetically modified, you know what I'm saying? Like, this whole gluten allergies and stuff, like, they're saying that's just because of the pesticides in the wheat, you know? It's like, you're not allergic to gluten, it's the pesticides they're using, you know? So, again, with a lot of stuff, I don't think politicians are paying attention to everything. So voting in some, especially local stuff like that, like, does make sense. People, whatever, you know, like, what is that, Kane, the wrestler? He was running for mayor or something like that. Like, sure, you know what I'm saying? Especially your town or whatever, you know? So it's like, I agree with you to a point, but then I think there is a point to a lot of it. It's just, you're only really advertised like, oh, you're voting for the president or you're voting for the governor or whatever, you know, and it's like, there's more shit on there from what I hear, you know, voting, like, well, legalizing marijuana, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that shit, that's public, you know, that's every vote counts, absolutely, you know, because most people, if they see it, they're not gonna click that little box. So it's kind of like, when you think about it like that, how many actual votes are people putting on their ballot? Because they're not voting for everything, you know, because you don't know what the fuck some of this shit is, you know. Peter Piper, you know what I'm saying? Peter Piper or Patrick Hardy or, you know, Paul Peterson. I don't know any of those fuckers. What do you close your eyes and guess, you know? But for stuff like that, I don't know. I think I'm talking myself into wanting to vote now, damn it. It's like, one of the weird things is like Nestle, you know, Nestle is like taking billions of gallons of water for literally like nothing. Yeah, people in Detroit and Flint, like, they're losing their kids for not having clean water or not having the water on because shit's coming out of it, or losing their water and then losing their kids because they can't pay the bill. But selling, you know, I think it was like 1 billion gallons of water for like $200 from some place in Michigan. Like, they're taking all the shit. If the public doesn't speak up, then it's kind of like allowing theft, you know? And then they're jacking it up on $1, $1.50, $2 for that same water. And they're making, you know, essentially trillions from nothing, literally nothing, you know? So, yeah, I guess there is a lot of reasons. But then you'd have to pay attention to it constantly, you know? I mean, maybe it's just lazy. Maybe I'm just lazy. I think they should have, like, a 24-hour channel of, like, what's going on in your part of the world, you know? I don't like that shit. I randomly see billboards out here. They're like, don't bring in parasites from other lakes on your boat. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then, like, you look into it, and I guess that some lakes have some kind of algae and other weird shit that can attach to your boat. So if you don't have it properly cleaned, then you go put it in another lake, you could, like, essentially kill the lake and all the creatures and maybe humans and shit like that, you know? So it's like, shouldn't we know this shit? Like, not some random-ass billboard? Shouldn't I know, you know, like, where the brown recluse spiders are? You know, where are the black widow spiders? Where are these, you know what I'm saying, panthers and shit from Mississippi? You hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they were saying for a long time, I guess it was like an urban legend or whatever, that there's some kind of, like, actual panther that lives out in Mississippi, and people keep claiming that they see it, you know, like, as often as Bigfoot, which is kind of rare, but they actually just, I got it on video camera. It's real. It's there. You know what I'm saying? Finally proven. Conspiracies or whatever. Oh, you're crazy. There's no panthers up here. Panthers live in the Amazon, in the jungle, South America, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, oh, there it is, you know, right there. So it's like, kind of want to know laws and shit like that. But in Chicago, man, is fucking, sometimes they put lights on weird shit. Like, you kind of want to know where you're going so you don't fuck up. Because, again, they say that, like, ignorance of the law doesn't excuse you. You could still be prosecuted for shit you didn't even know, you know? So I think the education in its entirety definitely needs more access, freely given, you know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit. But that's probably never going to be on the ballot, so...
But yeah, but no, man, the education system is a big joke. I mean, they don't really teach us things that really prepare you for life. A lot of things that we don't really use in life unless you're going to be an astronaut or something. But I don't know, man. If you could change the educational system, what would be the first thing that you would tackle?
First thing would be
diet.
No, because if I go with that, it's too limiting. First thing I'd go with is kinesthetic teaching. You know, when you start applying kinesthetic teachings into the curriculum that already exists, you know, good or bad, already exists, you're creating ways for people to learn how to teach themselves, you know? So if you can turn basketball or hockey or video games into a learning mechanism, you could essentially... I was looking into this idea of creating my own RPG. I'm in one, so like I was like, how are you making this, you know? And the guy's, he's making the Bernie's Journey RPG game. And I was like, how are you doing this? You know, and he's like, oh, he told me the programs. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to not tell anybody. But you can look it up. There's RPG makers that if you really care, you know, you can make your own Final Fantasy, Zelda kind of game, you know? And I'm like, do you realize that just that concept of knowing how to do that, taking your, you know, like pixelating the little 8-bit characters or even taking pictures of famous people through history or whatever, you could go through and learn through a video game everything that's in a history book, everything that's in a science book, you know, and make it fun, you know what I'm saying? Absorbing the knowledge while you're playing it, because you'd have it to where, just like in school, the next bit of, you know, like the next segment or whatever is based on the previous segment, you know? So it's like, as long as you're playing the video game, you start off at low level, 0 level, you know, and it's like, oh, this is my axe or whatever, and then you cut the wood, and then it shows you, like, how to learn about the wood and how many rungs and how old it is and the leaves and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, shit, you know, and then it's like you get into the full concept of American history or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's kinesthetic. By itself is kinesthetic. You know, hands-on can simply be a video game. So from that concept, I've always thought about turning classes into music as well, you know? There's got to be ways for you to, because you hum a tune, that's the most impactful memory. Like, that memories from songs last a long time. So if you actually kept listening to it, you could essentially, what is it, with Indians, the Vedas, I think they sing their scriptures, you know what I'm saying? And, like, you're talking about, like, 5,000 pages fully memorized, you know what I'm saying? These people, like, memorize the whole fucking thing. Like, who the fuck does that? You know, like, in America, we have examples of, like, Sheldon or Will Wheaton's character from Star Trek, eidetic memory, you know, like, oh, you heard it or you saw it once and you remember it forever. Well, with repetition and rhythm, you know what I'm saying, you're linking both halves of the brain together, and you're able to not only store the information, but remember how you felt, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's feelings that come along with it as well. So, simply injecting kinesthetic concepts, because then what's going to happen is everyone's then going to take whatever they love, whatever, skateboarding into physics. You know, it's a very easy concept to do that. Taking skateboarding, applying physics properties, and learning math while you're doing it, if that's your thing. Same thing with football, same thing with basketball. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about, like, checkers and shit, but yeah, it's such a big, it's an open realm. It would create so many specialized teachers, you know what I'm saying, that more and more people would be invested in education, therefore they would stick up for whatever wages they're making, you know what I'm saying? And they'd probably come up with better ways for teachers and shit to get paid, you know? Like, the more people actually, in Asian cultures, like in Asian countries, like what we think of as like the Kardashians and Donald Trump and like celebrities like that, they've got superstar teachers, you know what I'm saying? Because like getting into the highest schools is so hard, it's a constant competition, so they've got these like famous teachers, like, and they're doing all this stuff, they're singing while they're teaching, and they're showing examples, and they're acting shit out. Like, I can't remember, was it Thailand, I want to say. Thailand, maybe China. It's one of the mainland, but is one that I saw. But it's like, holy shit, like that's a superstar. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just, oh, that person was funny on TV or whatever. It's like, no, I learned all of 7th grade. This guy is like fucking profoundly amazing. You know?
All right.
So all that stuff would then start to like build, it would grow, you know what I'm saying? Just that one seed, implementing kinesthetic concepts into the natural public schools, you know what I'm saying? And then it would spread online, and then you could do all kinds of shit, you know, education would spread, and the people would come up with more fun and easier methods. Like, it would be a goal that many people would share, you know? I think in America, we kind of look at like the debt that you get out of, you know, college and shit like that, and then the lack of jobs. You need stuff that not only doesn't cost that much to do, but will create jobs, will create businesses that create jobs. You know what I'm saying? The whole function, it's like, it's all backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's all backwards. So yeah, that'd be my answer.
Okay. Cool deal. All right, guys, after the music break, it'll be time for our usual tradition. It is called the hot seat, and our fans love this part of the segment, of course, along with the actual interview. Well, this is more like a chat, really, but the audience get to hear either some good old singing, some spoken word, maybe a poem, freestyle rap, a joke, a story, or maybe Brandon, aka the Raven, will whip out a live instrument for our special guest. Well, you never know what these creative minds and vessels will produce in the spotlight. And tonight we'll find out if the Raven have what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry. But for right now, we have the Raven in your arms. We'll be right back.
I long for the times you held me in your arms.
I was born into enormous that crawling through the holes in these systems we hold with such common contempt. From the moment these placements, these agencies tore me from normalcy, something deep in me just wanted to soar and take off, rise above the crowd and say, we're out here drowning statistically with disorders and homelessness, teen pregnancies on the rise. No amount of confinement seems to heal these horrors. So many molested, contested, abused, and you foolishly lock us away. Yeah, there goes my youth from these justified blues. You just gave us all pills and then act like it's cool. what killers, drug dealers, Detroit. No choice but to end up manic, smoking Newports. A savage oppressed with homies that would strip a civilian at gunpoint. But when you find yourself inside the joint, I'm anointed and coming back. They don't know you like I know you, having trouble reading. Yeah, we got a plan for that. Mama was a coke fiend, yellow rocks up all night hoping she would show emotion that wasn't psychotic, looking for someone who would take 3 kids when none of the fathers even around to come and pay the bills. So she fucking ex-boyfriends to pay the rent, and you wonder where your childhood went. It was stressed, soaked the fucking press, and then CPS came. You were off to be a wardless stay, and I'm sorry.
There's not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before you come around. I yearn for the days when I see your face here before me. I long for the times you held me in your arms.
I go by the name of the Raven. I came from the crazed-haven, aimed at that way back shit. Google it. I've been on that same like a days at wagon. These maggots evolve. Now I'm flying, motherfucker, through these third world walls. The Pacific Rim is about to cash out. I'm spaz out like a sad clown. Drunk as fuck and I'ma pass out. Hit the gas any day. I'll be on Netflix, documenting this motherfucker. I'm a set trip. Whoa, whoa, like I'm 17 and I'ma get this.
We are back again. That was the Raven with the song In Your Arms. I like that one. That was pretty dope there. So we'll when we bring him back, we'll ask him to go in depth about what that record is about, because I really like that one. And this is, we like to get the stories and the thoughts on how records come together, and how artists put them together to give to us as a gift, So I just want to tell you guys that you'll find what you are looking for. It seems so obvious as to almost go without saying. When you look for something, you'll find it. Now, when I first discovered angel numbers and numerology, I would always see the number 1111, which means, it typically means that you can make a wish, and any wish that you make, if you think about it hard enough, it will manifest. And it is also the gateway to different dimensions and realities. And there's also other meanings for 1111, but it's very positive. And I guess I used to think about 1111 all the time. So I guess that's what I found. When the clock would strike, it would always be 1111 or 111. And I think it's just because I thought about it so much and thought about the things that I wanted to manifest. But how many red Nissan pickup trucks did you see on the road yesterday? You probably don't remember seeing any. Today, or tomorrow rather, try looking for red Nissan pickups and you'll see plenty of them. I just bought a HHR, I think 2 months ago. No, like a month and a half ago. Now, I never noticed this vehicle before until I bought it. Now, every corner there's a HHR, different color. It's like, wow. But when you seek something, you see everything that happens to you from a new perspective. You easily find opportunities that would not otherwise be apparent to you. When you're inspired, millions of ideas come to you. And you want to act on every last one. And it's because you're attracting that energy to get something done. One of the best known Bible passages from the book of Matthew, perhaps chapter 7, sums up the utter power and simplicity of this concept. It says, "Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it shall be opened. Now, we tend to think about that in a very positive manner. Like, okay, I can ask for $1 million. Oh, let's bring it down. Or I can ask for $100 bucks. I shall receive it one way or the other. Maybe you got a job and you worked for it. There's your $100 bucks. Or you did a great deed in the universe and the universe paid you back with free ice cream or a free pair of Jordans or something that equals the value of what you put in or what you asked for. Sometimes energy is spread out till it adds up to, what you're manifesting. Now, it doesn't always work in the positive manner. It can also backfire. You ask, you shall receive it. Some people ask for failure, and they receive failure. You say, what are you talking about, Dini? Well, the many times that people put their hands to work and say, oh, this would never work. This will never take off. I will never get the support that I'm looking for. But Dini, they're not asking a question. My friend, but are they? Are they asking themselves what to expect of themselves? And what do they receive in the end? Most of the time, it's failure because they're setting their mind on that. They're asking for it. They're just like, please pour me more failure. Come on. So it also has a different view, There's a positive view. Things can work out in your benefit, or it can backfire, where you are self-destructing yourself because you're asking for it with hands out on both knees. You're asking for failure. Look at yourself and pick yourself up. You can do it. So this is completely reasonable and makes perfect sense. If you want something, you must seek it, not whine or complain about the lack of it. Not wishing for it, but seeking it. And yeah, I know I just said, wishing, but they're also the part where you have to do something about it. Okay? One thing I've learned is that to make a move is to be pissed off about something. Yeah, I used to have a job that I was pissed off about because I was full of talent, but my talent was not being used and I was being paid peanuts. I felt like a caged bird. So I was concerned about my future. And then concern turned into being fed up. Being fed up with the long hours and taking the peanuts home. I mean, not literally peanuts, but... And then being fed up went to being pissed off, to where I would just come to work mad. And not mad at the company, not mad at myself, but mad at the situation. How they value us in the workplace and our compensation for it. The CEOs are always on a yacht or vacationing while, us regular folks are working, making the CEO rich, keeping his dreams alive. Yeah, that pissed me off. And usually when I'm pissed off, I do something about it because I'm a fighter. So, I quit. Yeah. I did something about it. And I made my own company. Made my own value. Me being pissed off made me do something. And most causes that comes up that a lot of people are into, they do it because they're either pissed off about something or they're passionate to make a change. And both emotions garner change. So you're pissed off or you're just passionate. Something has to change. That is the mission, right? That is why you're pissed off. That is why you're passionate. Because something has to change. The very act of seeking something starts the process that brings that something into being for you. In fact, once you are truly committed to seeking something, then from that moment on, you will have it. The fact that it is not yet completely manifest in front of you doesn't matter that much, because you are living as if you already have it. So in that sense, my friends, you do already have it. Sometimes you just got to step back and take inventory of yourself. Inventory of the things that you've done. I mean, you can sit back and see something that's tangible. Right there. You did it. Bravo, bravo for you. Pat yourself on the back. If I were next to you, I would pat you on the back and say, good job, friend. Now go do it again. Get her done. Yeah. And if you continue in your commitment, you will, in fact, have it soon. Take it from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond. Let's bring the man of the hour back on. The Raven. You're now live in our hot seat. What do you have for us?
I have an incomplete concept that's mildly a joke and mildly a head scratcher. I don't know what to do with this information, is basically what I'm saying. It's going to give you something to ponder. Ready? 7% of Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. 7% of Americans are born from anal sex, where the semen drips into the vagina. Now that that's sunk in.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time. Let it sink in.
7% of Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. 7% of Americans were born from anal sex, where the semen dripped into the vagina from the anus. That's my moment in the hot seat.
All right. So, where do your theories come from?
What, that? That's fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a statistical fact. They don't gotta be the same 7%, but 7%, 7%. Fact, look it up. Look it up.
Okay, I'm definitely have to look that one up. I never heard of that one before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's a reflection of lack of education in America. 7%. There's only 1% of Americans are schizophrenic. And that's 3 million people. 1% of America is 3 million people. There's 1% of Americans are schizophrenic. And 7% believe chocolate milk comes from brown cows. 7%. 7%. Is that a coincidence? Is it connected? I don't know. But
bless their heart.
Yeah.
Either way it goes. Wow.
Yeah, 7% still. 21 million people, man.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is 7% of the entire population? Or?
It's very large. Yeah.
That is a very large number there.
Yeah.
bless their heart. Oh my goodness.
But again, who ever thinks about that, you know? I don't know if you like going in the back door, you know, but you don't think about that. And then porn, like, oh, just come in her or whatever, it doesn't matter. And it's like, no, you got to be careful even in the bathtub and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be careful. But people don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's just neglect. It's just neglect, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need superstar teachers, man, in Thailand.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. That we do. Alright, so this record of yours, In Your Arms, do you care to tell us the story behind it?
I will. This last Black Friday was the last time Anno Domini Beats was doing his Black Friday deal. I didn't know it was going to be the last one. I've purchased every single one, because you get like 2 gigabytes for $7, and then like another 2 for another 7 or 14, and then 6, and like you end up walking away with like close to 15, 16 gigabytes for less than $100, you know? So this last one, he had an unlimited deal, so I paid a little bit extra. I didn't get all the sets. I just got the first 3. So I spent, I don't know, like $70 or something like that. I didn't really have, but I'd been a part of every single one beforehand. Anyway, so this all happens while I'm currently trying to submit all this information. I had to do like a video interview thing explaining the concept of I fucking should have done that. Should have had you do that for the hot seat. My 5-minute video pitch to ask for grant money, you know? It's on YouTube, but I don't know, it's probably too late for that. But it's basically, it's me sitting like explaining the whole concept of the documentary that I want to do, and giving all these statistics. Like the video shows all these clips of statistics about homelessness from people in foster care and placement. Homelessness, underage, like under 18 pregnancies, 33% of people in foster care have had children, or at least were pregnant and had to get an abortion. Under the age of 18, like it goes how many end up in jail, like all kinds of shit. I had some UK statistics where it showed how many prostitutes were from foster care and placement, but I was like, I'm going to do this in America. You know, people don't need to know that, like, I think it's like 65% of all prostitutes in the UK were in, like, foster care and placement and shit, you know? So it's like these kids that aren't growing up with families and therefore have no proper concept of what the world can be, you know? You just kind of go to what's familiar, you know? So drugs, sex, like your body's natural urges, you know? We'd be fine if we were still living in caves and shit, but having to create societies to take care of these kids, and abortion's wrong, or abortion's not wrong, or whatever, or my body, my choice, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like with these concepts showing that 65%, I thought that was kind of powerful. Like, holy shit, like, this is where it's heading. You know what I'm saying? 33% of all 18-year-old, under 18, in foster care, it wasn't even placement, it was just foster care, had children. You know what I'm saying? And then when I was there, I found out how many were molested, and it was like most of them, you know, raped and all this other, like, and from the foster families themselves. So I wanted to go back and, like, show, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just me spouting numbers. It's not just me. I got to keep it within, like, a 90-minute, you know what I'm saying, documentary-style shit. I recently reconnected with my foster brother from, like, 20 years ago. You know, he's down to, like, film it. He's got a camera, you know. So I found this. I was looking through grants and stuff, and I found one where they'll give you up to $5,000 for the actual production of your, it's got to be, like, focused on, like, cultural or humanitarian, you know. It pretty much has to be, like, a kind of important, you know, like, educational, something, this about society, or even like wildlife, like saving natural habitats and stuff like that. You know, bringing awareness is basically what it's got to be. So I'm like sifting through this grant website, and since most of them you got to have the 501c3 nonprofit organization, which I'm still working on, but then there's, you know, millions and millions of dollars that are available once you have that status. So I had to look for stuff that was only given to individuals, you know, with like a cause behind it. So this one, they're like, all right, yeah, here's all the rules. I deadline, and I think I got like a week or two left. They want a 5-minute video of me explaining the concept. You know, they want all kinds of written stuff. You know, they want me to send in, I don't even have anybody to do this, but they want you to send in like some kind of professional person, like a mentor or a teacher or someone in the community, you know, like write you a letter of recommendation. I'm like, I gotta say, like, hey, I'm kind of like alone here by myself. I have closed myself off from people for so long. I'm trying to poke my head back out into society with like, hey, here's my research. I'm Damo in the cave, and I just learned Kung Fu. You know, I've been in the cave 9 years, but now all you Buddhist monks can lose some fucking weight. You know, I went into the cave to meditate to find a solution to your obesity and your laziness. You know, and I'm trying to come out with Kung Fu, you know, essentially.
Right.
So, yeah. And so they want other shit. So I basically got to, like, do what I'm doing now. Just like, hey, yeah, I don't have it all together just yet, but I'm working on it. And it's not going to be hard for me to go through and actually interview all these people. Like, I just found the kid on Facebook that I was in one residential home, a boys' home called Judson Center in Royal Oak. And I was there for a little bit more than a year, and there's like shit to do in the summer in these places. You know what I'm saying? Like shit to do. And if you're lucky enough where the agency didn't take you illegally and then pass you around to a bunch of agencies where you're actually still allowed to see your family, you know, then you can go with your family for a few days in the summer, like each week. And it was me and like 5 other kids. Like, you're not allowed to go nowhere because you got no one. You know, because everyone's got to be approved and all that shit. Nobody even knew where I was. My whole family, nobody even knew where I was. They just kind of smuggled me. But it was me and this kid, and we're bored as shit. And there was a staff there that normally worked midnights. You didn't really see much of her. She was there this particular day, and me and him were just stuck, you know, in the living room. And he throws a pencil at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, and I threw the pencil back, and it made the tiny little mark on his skin. He was black, but you could still kind of see it, you know, just like a little bit of that lead, you know, no hole, no blood, no scratch, just like fine lead. And he goes and he's like, he stabbed me. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? And she calls up like the main guy, the supervisor. And we're both like listening, like, what the fuck? And she hangs up the phone, and he's like, Luke said you're both being escalated. You know, start packing your shit. You're gone on Monday. We were like, what the fuck? Like, it's Royal Oak, so it's kind of like cushy suburban, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you could, if you wanted to, you could escape any night, climb out your window. There was no bars on the windows. There was no big fence and shit, like not like any of the other places I went to. So it was like, I knew there was worse places, and I knew what escalation was. And then you hear stories of people that are coming from these places and then going into down to medium and then down to low. This one was low security. So it was like, fuck that. Me and him ran away, right? We ran away, we stole from Walmart, we ate, we stole clothes, food, you know what I'm saying? And we lived on top of middle school, you know? And he went back, and I didn't, you know? So I just found him on Facebook. So, and one of the craziest shit ever, he's like, I don't take friend requests, I don't take requests from dudes, you know? Like, if you want to get a hold of me, here's my number. And like this post was his last post from like 2 years ago. So I've got his number. The only reason why I'm hunting him down is to do this documentary. And I want to go back, like, what happened to that kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, we went through some shit together, you know? I want to know if they ever escalated him. I mean, they took him back, you know, but what'd they do after he came back? Did the whole thing blow over? You know what I'm saying? Did the lady make it, did she blow it out of proportion? And, like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of people like that I've been finding. Some of the staff members are down. You know what I'm saying? They know the problems. They know the issues. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've got a lot from my personal experiences. I can do this documentary, you know, and then I can edit it down to 90 minutes, you know what I'm saying, very easily, you know. So while I'm doing all this, like, this is, again, all this stuff is just different ways to present. It's the same information. I gotta keep, nothing's working so far, so I gotta keep sticking it from different angles, you know what I'm saying? Right. So music wasn't working, fuck it, you know. Maybe I'll throw some shit out randomly. I'm doing a weekly thing. No one gives a shit, you know. But, like, the documentary concept, once I have something like that in my hand, the point of film festivals and shit like that, or Netflix, you know what I'm saying? Film festivals, Netflix, these things are accessible. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to make a film, I mean, there's even film festival in Toronto that's strictly about mental illness and drug addiction, you know? So the category of documentary, of humanitarian, of community-based, of mental illness, of statistics, like, all, it fits a lot of different categories where I'd be able to say, yes, this is technically within the boundaries of what you're promoting and what you're accepting, you know? And with that, all it takes, because these people, they're in a position not only to care and to view it, but they're in a position to push it to the next stage, you know? And I think that's all it's really going to take is one of my projects to be pushed to the next stage where thousands of people actually say, okay, here's $1, you know what I'm saying? Or like, okay, here's $3 or whatever. Okay, we're going to like you on Facebook. Okay, we're going to give a shit, you know? So while I'm working on all that stuff, there's this other contest, this Pacific Song Contest, and I'm like, man, this is all over the world. It's all about humanitarian stuff. Again, tribes in Australia and, like, all kinds of different music and different cultures all around, like, the Pacific Ocean area, but they're like, but we'll take stuff from America, we'll take stuff from a few other countries, you know? I'm like, okay, I guess, yeah, the United States' ass is, like, all up on the Pacific Ocean, you know? So it fits the theme. So I'm like, all right. I messaged them. I was like, hey, when is your stuff done? And they're like, oh, we're in Australia, and they're, like, 16 hours ahead of us. The deadline is, like, in a few hours. I was like, hey, are you still looking for submissions? You know, they just messaged me back, actually. And they're like, all right, send the video and registration information. So I made the song, since I got the instrumental from the Anno Domini Black Friday. I don't know if this is a hard story to follow or not, but since I got the instrumental from Anno Domini and I already made the video for the grant proposal, I simply found one of the instrumentals from Anno Domini that already had a chorus. So I was being lazy, but I had, like, last night to write it and record it. And I was like, I can't drink when I'm on the show. So I drank last night and, like, spit the whole thing out in, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, you know. Had to check it again sober, make sure the quality's all right. I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't have enough time to make a video. So I was like, oh, what if I take my 5-minute video, because it has to be between 3 and 5 minutes for this video, for the pitch, for the grant. And I was like, what if I just take the little time thing, and I just shorten it to fit the song? And then when I put the music video with the video, it fucking fit. You know, like, a lot of the points that I made actually were presented with the statistics. And, like, there's one part where I was like, and there goes my childhood, and it shows this B-roll of Detroit where it looks like an old abandoned jail or something, you know, and it's all, like, creepy looking, and it's got the big fences with the barbed wire and shit. There's weird moments where it syncs up. When I say illiteracy, it's like a few seconds later, the statistics for illiteracy, you know, 85% of people that were in these facilities are marginally or functionally but illiterate, you know, and then 75% people in jail, same thing, and then 20% of high school graduates, like, what the fuck, you know? That's a lower number, but it's still shocking, you know? So the whole thing all lined up, you know, so I'm like, this is shit. These other people, they're filming themselves with, like, big groups of people, you know, and I'm like, this is really, I'm just kind of putting a turd in a box and just saying, does this work? I was rushed, rushed to do this, but they seem into it, They seem into it. They're like, oh, good concept, And I'm like, yeah, we'll accept it. Like, But is that they're just looking for more entries so they don't look weird? And then what they do is, I guess if someone like yourself were to be interested next year to be a judge, they hold judges from like 34 different countries. They have judge positions where you vote on stuff like that, but they want you to have some kind of musical position and stuff like that, so you're not just some random person, you know what I'm saying? To where like there's teachers and ex-musicians or philosophers of music or whatever, all kinds of different stuff, videographers and stuff like that, to where like, oh, I'll judge this competition or whatever. And then I guess they do it like a live thing. There's like a voting period and all that stuff. I don't even know what the prize is. I just remember it was like cash. I was like, fuck, even if it's like $300, like that'll help me. That's gas money to get back down to Detroit and maybe a hotel for a night or two, start filming. So the whole thing was pretty much make a song that advertised for the documentary, because if I can get any money to start snowballing into that, then while I'm waiting for the response from the proposal, I'll know how many people even give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if these people, the whole point is humanitarian concepts and saving cultures and shit like that, then it's like, that's, I guess, my audience, like people that actually care and they're like, are willing to like, oh yes, we'll advertise this here and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, there's money at the end or whatever. So basically I just told the story, a little bit more, I guess, whiny emotionally, trying to tug at heartstrings, you know what I'm saying? But like, in a way that the statistics then make sense, Yeah, it's a little complicated, I guess, but not really. I was fucking lazy and I ran out of time. That's the answer.
Oh man. Hey, there's always time. Oh, you saying you ran out of time for the
contest? Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
They're like, we'll extend it. We'll give you like an extra 12 hours or whatever. And I'm like, I hope this doesn't get flagged. And then I put it up on YouTube and it's like, cannot monetize this video, copyright. And I was like, bullshit. I paid for these unlimited. And you ever heard it? I don't know. I've heard the name a lot, but dancing on the beat. You ever hear that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said that I tried to like protest, like, hey, I paid for unlimited usage, and then he quickly was basically like, no, if there's ever any ads, he gets the money from the advertisement on my song because it's his beat. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was starting to like write him on Facebook, like, what the fuck is this? Did Anno Domini steal the beat from you? Like, probably not, but what has it got to say? And then I looked at the lease, and I was like, maybe we check this lease a little bit better. And I guess YouTube automatically syncs any instrumentals to the original copyright. Therefore, if you want to put a song up on YouTube and actually make money from it, if you purchased a lease and it's not exclusive rights, then you have to pay an extra $30 per song to sync the rights to YouTube. Never knew that shit. I was thinking, unlimited usage, awesome. So I can put it in a movie, but they're saying that YouTube specifically has its own weird rules, because people steal shit all the time, so I guess it does make sense. But to $30, maybe they got to do like some weird paperwork or something like that, I don't know. Yeah. So I was like, that's fucked up. Hidden fucking flaw.
Yeah, sometimes.
But I guess they posted it.
He sampled the original beat, and I think YouTube catches that.
Yeah, because it's like pieces of the song. It's from 17 seconds to 1 minute 33. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? How? How is it not the whole song? I've had one where it was like 3 different things from 3 different people and just weird times. 5 minutes to 20 seconds and then 1 minute 14. It's like it's the same part of the song. I don't know. It's some kind of algorithm. It's all built into the system. Yeah.
All right. I'd like to thank you, man, for your time. It's an incredible gift to be able to talk to a talented person as yourself with the cause behind every avenue that you pursue. I know no matter how hard I could try, and really, we went way, way off script. So it was just us conversating, right? So
as long as it was interesting and you didn't lose that many viewers, you know.
Nah, they're all here. Yeah, they're all here. But we're at almost 2 hours.
Even
now.
Steve? Is Steve there? Still with me, Steve?
That was from Twitter. I don't know if he was on or not.
Was that his real name? I was picking a random name. Is that real?
I guess.
I was trying to fuck with someone that, like, wait, what? My name's Steve. No shit. That's my memory working without me even knowing it. Wow.
Yeah. And
well,
Maggie
thank you,
was
Steve.
from Google Hangouts.
Thank you, Maggie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, thanks for having me, man. You know, I doubt this was as entertaining as the other one, but I'm sober. I can look back and say, don't edit anything, just put it out. You know what I'm saying? Confidently.
Yeah.
Well, do however you do it, but, yeah. So, I don't know. I wish I could ask your audience, like, a question. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
All right. If you heard everything that I've tried to explain, and I know some of my shit's long-winded, and I get off topic a little bit, but I try to come back. So I hated the drunk interview because I didn't come back to the main point. You know, I tried to do that, come back to the main point. Hearing all this, I mean, this is every single city in America. This is every single state in America. You know, the statistics of Native Americans that are taken into foster care and drugged at, it's like 60 times the normal rate. Children, again, African American, white, like no one's immune from this shit. You know what I'm saying? These are systemic problems. It's like, what would it take? What would it take for... You're just, like, random people to me. You know, I don't know you. What would it take for you to, like, actually... So, yeah, there's a point to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need, like, an ego boost or whatever, but there is, I think, some kind of weird... Like, I'm looking for validation. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if I have the nonprofit organization status, the 501c3 status, people are going to take me a little bit more seriously. But really, how much more? You know? How much more? If you're out there and you're listening, any kind of response would help me. So I don't got to keep bugging this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll come up with new projects and we'll only talk about that. Because I feel like I'm kind of beating a lot of dead horses with all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay. Well, phone lines are open. Let me go ahead and...
Because the point is, talk whenever you want. I think I'll hear you. The point is that, well, remember Save the Whales. You know, the only reason why that got big is because there was that famous story where the whale and the baby whales got trapped under the ice. They covered it on the news. And then you got Free Willy. Like, it became a big thing. No one's talking about this in any real manageable concept. But this is the core of children of the future. This is the core of our society. Everyone that you know of that's in jail, everyone you have ever met where they've had their kids taken or they were kids that were taken. You know what I'm saying? Like, this affects them. This affects them if I'm successful. So I kind of need, like, some inside what would... You know, I can't just run around giving everybody money. You know what I'm saying? I've got to actually implement programs, talk to professionals, implement programs to where there's going to be camps. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be camps. I'm going to try to implement some of these kinesthetic concepts in, I don't know where you're living, but how many schools do you know in your area that have closed down, or there was corruption in the school, there are embezzling money? There was like 24 fucking schools that closed down in Detroit. I didn't even know there's 24 in the fucking city, you know? But there's... I don't want to keep moving forward and trying to push something that no one gives a shit about, you know? Are we only like being affected if we get nuked? Are we only being affected if someone invades us? Are we only being affected if it's like, oh, it just happened to me now? I wish I would have, what's the answer? You know what I'm saying? CPS taking kids and shit.
Hey, this is Rob. Now, it sounds like to me you have a lot of causes.
Does it sound like that? To me, it's one. It's one, but there's just a lot involved because it starts from one stem, but the tree has a lot of branches. But essentially, it's one root.
But
one root that seems to...
You gotta focus on one thing because you have a lot of things going on right now, and I really don't know which one to support.
It's the dini-mussolini. It's one thing. The point is that I can see how it sounds like that. I can see... So it sounds like I'm talking about like a bunch of different things and like it's not all connected at all. It's the same statistics of suicide, same statistics for illiteracy, same statistics of people in jail, same statistics. It's the same fucking numbers. It's chocolate milk cow, anal sex baby.
Yeah, I still think it's a bunch of avenues, and just gotta stick with one thing until that takes off, and then go to something else. I mean, it could all be within the same organization, but at the end of the day, it sounds like you have a lot of things to do and a lot of things to present, and it's all about your presentation when you present your company.
Yeah, I could see that. That's definitely accurate.
All right, well, just wanted to give my 2 cents.
Thank you very much, man.
Keep going, man. Keep going. Exactly what Dini says when he was preaching earlier. You could do it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Phone lines are open.
I could see what he's saying, though. It does. It presents as... I think it's one of the main problems with it is that you sound schizophrenic even if you're not, because it's so much. It looks like you think that I have like a board on my wall with like strings attached from this article to that article to that article and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But... yeah. That's why like the movie concept would kind of clear up a lot of that stuff, you know? Because when you see it, I think it's different. But yeah, presenting it, yeah, I'm doing a horrible job. I agree. All right. Well, if no one else is gonna call, I'll let him hang up on me. You know. Thank you for listening, though. Thank you for listening.
And you people are shy. Why are you so shy? Well, they're shy with a lot of people, but
that's cool. I remember being a little like nervous, you know. First time I was ever on the radio, called in a rock and roll station. They were like, call in and tell us a crazy story, you know. I was like, I was in placement, actually. I grabbed the phone and I called in and I was like, they're like, all right, well, you're on the air. Like, what's your crazy story? And I'm like, it has something it's got to do with animals, crazy animal story. And I was like, I spanked my monkey and it fell off. They were like, what? I spanked my monkey and it fell off. And they're like, you need to get outside, you know? Like, you need to don't stay home, you know? And then they play that song, don't stay home that day, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, whoa. I think it's like 311 or something like that. Yeah, it made fun of me. Hug up, love me. But yeah, nervous. All right, well, thank you, man. This is proving like to be very beneficial. Very beneficial.
Definitely. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, the Raven, for your time as always. Guys, be sure to check with the Raven. You can send donations for the the-crazed-haven at practice non-being at aim.com via PayPal. I also have the links in the description of the show. So make sure you check out his Facebook at facebook.com/pg/the-crazed-haven. Also https://inktothepeople.com/
Oh, that's done. That's over with. That's
that
gone
is done.
Now. Time ran out. Time ran out. Nobody wanted a shirt for an organization that doesn't make any sense.
No.
But yeah, on YouTube, I'm sure there's a link underneath all that. I think there is for the main page. I've been doing a weekly beat of the week. So it's music all the time. It's free. You know, same thing with Reverb Nation. It's free. You know, free.
All right, guys, just in case you didn't catch those links that I mentioned, they are in the description of the show. So all you have to do is click on it, and it'll take you right to it. I did all the work for you. Well, my fingers did. All right. Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out the podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, any app on the Google Play or iTunes Store over at our website. And that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you like to request music or a particular guest or send something from us to play, email it to me at theradio@only1mediagroup.com or chat with Dini@only1mediagroup.com. Here's my disclaimer: we're genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. Bottom line, this is my show. You got to deal with that. Not just kidding. On behalf of myself, dini-mussolini, and the-crazed-haven, and the Raven, I appreciate you guys for tuning in either afterwards or live with us. Make sure you spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. You never know. The Raven and Dini may do a song together. Who knows? The impossible always happens. Oh, yeah. Well, let's get it cracking then, man. All right. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is our unwritten rule. Also, we start our new series tomorrow, Inside the Music, tomorrow with Noya B. So make sure you don't miss that interview. It starts at 10. Kind of the same format. Nothing's changed really. It's just the title, right? Because that goes into something else that we're about to do. Also, the All Music Hour is coming up next week as well. So that is also something new that we are introducing where we're playing our guest who's been on the show. We're playing their music and letting them do the song tag. So they'll be like, hey, this is such and such. You're listening to my track and this is why I wrote it. Check me out at this social link and then you'll be able to hear the song. So that is another cool thing that we're adding on to Vigilantes Radio is the All Music Hour. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get your song on this one, but man, we've had a lot of guests in the past. So we're just, getting those. Oh
yeah, your back catalog is huge, man. That's why I was like, wow, where is he?
Yeah, so we're going to try to do that every other week. The only thing about that is just waiting for the song drops to come in because I have to get them to record it and then send it to me, and we'll have to plug it into the show. So I don't have to just, I have 17 or 18 people call in like, hey, this is such and such, and this is what my song means to me. No, it's like, hey, let's pre-record this thing and leave the rest to me.
Nice.
Yes, sir. All right, final words. Avoid.
Final words.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. How was that? Was that good?
Great. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, here's mine. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential. When you do that, peace and have a great night.
Awesome.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.